Thanks, Chad.
Good evening and welcome to the City of Battle Creek, Michigan, and the Battle Creek City Commission meeting for December 16th, 2025. It is 7 o'clock. We welcome you to our meeting. This is our last meeting before Christmas, and I need to be reminded to allow our Vice Mayor to speak first or last when it comes to the commission comments. She has something special to give to the public. At this time, we'd like to have a moment of silence, and then we'll have a Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Chris Simmons. Please stand if you're able to. Commissioner Chris Simmons.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Chris Simmons. Next item on our agenda is a roll call. Madam Clerk, when you're ready.
Commissioner Kotarski-Smith. Here. Commissioner Lacoste.
Here.
Commissioner Lance.
Here.
Commissioner Morris.
Here.
Mayor Benke.
Here.
Commissioner Reynolds.
Present.
Commissioner O'Donnell.
Here.
Commissioner Simmons.
Here.
And Vice Mayor Sophia.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. We have one proclamation to read, and are Tim and Mary Mix here? Nope. Okay. Our NPC on the north side of the city of Battle Creek requested this to be presented to Tim and Mary Mix. Tim and Mary Mix own the hardware store on Capitol Avenue Northeast, and it's been reported that they go above and beyond when it comes time to get things taken care of. And I have to tell you a quick story. This goes back several years, but there was a gentleman that had a lot of rental units in Battle Creek, and he was in there looking for a mailbox, but he didn't want to pay more than $18 for a mailbox. He said that Myers had mailboxes a lot cheaper than that. And I remember Tim Mix responded, well, if you wait 5 minutes, I'll take you out to Myers. So Tim does have a sense of humor, and sometimes you need to have that. But I think it's really nice that the MPC wanted to request this certificate of recognition, so please allow me to read it. The City Commission of the City of Battle Creek recognizes Mix Hardware for going above and beyond to help neighbors in their area by making resources available whenever possible. Mix Hardware is a locally owned family business that opened its doors in Battle Creek in 1955 with Mr. Al Mix as its owner. Al's son, Tin, purchased the business in 1972 and continued his father's work, providing his own personal touch on customer service and inventory selection consumers had grown accustomed to. Continuing as a family business, Tim's mother worked at the hardware store for many years, sharing her wisdom and knowledge, contributing to the success of the store. Sadly, a fire devastated the hardware store on February 2008. Tim and his wife, Mary, worked diligently to rebuild. Their goal was to create an establishment that was larger, environmentally friendlier, building for the community. They were able to reopen their doors to the public a year later, reinstalling their commitment to the service of the Battle Creek's North historic neighborhood. Mix Hardware has become a staple in our community. They continue to serve neighbors and employ many of the north side of the employees on the great north side of Battle Creek. I'm sorry about that. This certificate is presented to Mix Hardware on behalf of the citizens of the City of Battle Creek to show our appreciation for the service and dedication to their Battle Creek community. I personally want to thank Tim and Mary. I think it's great, some of the things that they do. And everyone needs a hardware store, especially in the springtime of the year. So thank you very much, and I'll stop by and make this presentation to them at their store. Next item on our agenda is chair noting any added or deleted resolutions.
There were none.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next item is petitions, communications, and reports.
There were no petitions or communications. A report is attached to the agenda.
Thank you very much. Next item on our agenda is a public hearing. Madam Clerk, when you're ready.
This public hearing is to obtain input on the proposed substantial amendment to the 2024 and 2025 annual action plans for the Federal Community Development Block Grant Program.
Declare the public hearing open. If you'd like to make public comment on the subject of this public hearing, then please raise your hand. Wait for us to acknowledge you to come forward to the podium where you will have 3 minutes to make your comment. Please state your name and your address prior to making the comment. Are there any public comments? Yes, sir. Please come forward.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Lance Craw. I live at 81 South 31st Street, and we're here to advocate for funds on 614 Northeast Capitol here.
You're the investor, right?
No.
No?
Just here to share some of my experience on why we think it would be beneficial, okay?
Okay.
All right, so I'm a person that was impacted by substance use disorder. Pretty much a homeless individual here in Battle Creek at one time. Recovery Services Unlimited and housing opportunities allowed me to kind of put my recovery together. I stand in front of you today with 5 years, almost 5.5 years clean now. And
Congratulations.
amazing, right? So I'm a homeowner now. So from homeless to a homeowner, which is amazing this last year. The reasons why I think housing is so beneficial, I mean, obviously affordable housing everyone could use, but the things that are beneficial is the accountability, responsibility, and the connection that housing brings to individuals like us and our population. It's really hard to kind of feel connected when isolated with addiction so often. So getting into the house and getting connected with those guys is really beneficial, and allowing us to kind of work in that environment with individuals like us and my colleagues here as well. So, you know, we have opportunities to work with guys up to 2 years, and if they have housing like that, I think it gives them a better opportunity and chance to kind of succeed, similar to how I have, so.
Well, great. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and good luck in everything you do.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Hi. I'm not as good off the cuff like my partner here. I had to write my speech down, if that's all right. My name is Tyler O'Kay, and I reside at 16 Beckman Avenue South in Battle Creek. I'm here tonight representing Recovery Services Unlimited, but I'm also here as someone whose life has been shaped by recovery. I'm proud to say that I have 9 years clean of amphetamines. Thank you. And I've been working as a recovery coach since 2019. Recovery is not just my profession, it is my passion and my purpose. I've lived the fear and instability and the uncertainty that come with addiction, and I've also lived the hope that comes when someone is finally given the right support to rebuild their life. I truly believe there isn't a single person in this room whose life has not been affected by addiction in some way, whether personally through a loved one or through loss. Addiction touches every family, every neighborhood, and every community. And while it's true that resources available today are stronger than they've ever been, the reality is we still have a long ways to go, especially when it comes to stable, supportive housing. The goal of tonight's session is to encourage the Commission to reallocate funds from the Minor Home Repair Program to support the completion of the rehabilitation of the apartment building located at 614 Capitol Avenue Northeast. This project is much more than a building. It's about creating opportunity, stability, and a real chance at long-term recovery. Recovery and transitional housing fills one of the most critical gaps in the recovery process. Without a safe, structured place to live, even the most motivated individuals are at risk of returning to environments that actively work against their progress. That challenge is made even greater by today's economy. The cost of living continues to rise, and for many individuals in recovery, living on a single income is incredibly difficult. When you add barriers like gaps in employment, criminal records, limited transportation, ongoing treatment requirements, and core obligations, it becomes clear that recovery doesn't happen in isolation. I've seen firsthand the difference recovery housing makes both from seeing my own loved ones come through the housing program and from supporting individuals every day who are doing everything they can to rebuild their lives. Transitional recovery housing provides stability, accountability, and safety. The foundation people need to succeed when people have a safe place to live. They show up, they stay engaged in services, and they begin to believe in themselves again. This housing also offers wraparound services, including recovery coaching, case management, and individual and group therapy through Recovery Services Unlimited. These supports don't just help people stay sober, they help people rebuild their lives with dignity, responsibility.
Sir, we need to stop.
Oh, okay.
You've exceeded your allowed time.
Okay.
But I appreciate your comments,
Yeah.
and if you want to leave a copy of your remarks there, we'll put them in the record.
Thank you.
Thank you
for
very
your
much. Are there any other public comments at this time? Yes.
Hello there. My name is Nathan Butler. I live at I just moved, so 463 Northeast Capitol in Battle Creek, Michigan. My name is Nathan Butler. I'm a peer recovery coach with Recovery Services Unlimited. I work directly with men in our recovery housing program, supporting them as they rebuild their lives after active addiction. Recovery and transitional housing is a major need in our community. Many people leave treatment motivated to stay sober, but don't have a safe or stable place to live. Without housing, recovery becomes much harder. Recovery housing provides stability during a critical time and allows people to focus on healing and rebuilding instead of just surviving. For the gentleman I support, recovery housing has made a real difference. It provides structure, accountability, and safety. Residents are surrounded by others in recovery, clear expectations, and consistent support. This environment helps them build healthy routines, take responsibility, and create a strong foundation for long-term recovery. At RSU, recovery housing also includes wraparound services. Residents receive recovery coaching, case management, and access to individual and group therapy through Recovery Services Unlimited. These supports work together to address substance use, mental health, and employment and life skills. Recovery housing is not just a place to live, it's a pathway to stability, dignity, and independence. When people are supported in recovery, the entire community benefits through reduced relapse, increased employment, and stronger families. Investing in recovery housing is an investment in people and in a healthier community. I'm terrified of public speaking, so
You did a good job.
thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Are there any other public comments? Mary?
Are you going to give my address?
89 Lathrop.
Anyways, I think this is a wonderful idea.
Oh, yeah.
Housing for everybody.
Mary, I'm sorry, this is a public hearing. Are you speaking about the public?
Yes, I think this is a wonderful idea of spending these funds for this housing. We need housing, all kinds of housing. When I came here, I needed housing. Everybody needs housing. And I think it's a good use of public funds to help people who maybe can't purchase that housing the way others can, for whatever reason. I mean, there's going to be other needs, but this is a really good idea. I just think that you guys should do it. I'm not taking up all your time.
All right, thank you, Mary. Appreciate it. I'm sorry I interrupted you. Any other comments on this public hearing? Seeing none, we'll declare the public hearing closed. Next item on our agenda is public comment regarding any remaining agenda items. If you'd like to make public comment regarding any remaining agenda item, please raise your hand and we will acknowledge you to come forward to the podium. You'll have 4 minutes to make your comments. Please state your name and your address before beginning your comment and indicate which agenda item you'd like to speaking to. Gloria, would you like to go first? All right, thank you.
Hi, my name is Gloria Zakis, and most of you already know me. What it is I can help with your other stuff that you were talking about. But I live on the corner of Territorial and La Vista, okay? And I've had 10 accidents in my front yard, okay? engineer, Kim, she almost got hit there. And she said she would back me on this, okay? People come up and down that street crazy, all right? You guys put stop signs on La Vista, and they,
Gloria, I've got to rule you out of order.
okay, why?
This isn't the public comment at the end of the meeting. This is public comment for items on our agenda.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
But I'll call you first, all right? Thank you.
First, better than last.
There you go. Are there any other, yes, Autumn Smith?
Good evening, Autumn Smith, Battle Creek. I'm just here to make a comment about the tax abatement summary. I know you guys didn't go into depth about that, but it was online in the backup materials. And while it's good that the tax abatement summary was released, I think the problem with it is you have a lot of blank spots and numbers, but there's no accountability for those, like the people that have already got the tax abatements but did not fulfill their job obligations. So it's good that we have the information. I think that's a start, but we need to start going a step further. And I know your guys' hands are tied as far as like rescinding tax abatements, because I'm a huge fan of that. And so, or even not giving them in the first place. I don't believe that's your role to, you know, give them a tax abatement in the hopes and promise without any obligation of fulfillment on their end or any way for us to recoup that if they don't fulfill it. And if you look at the report that was released, there was quite a few things where there were some people I don't even think that reported. And so it'd be nice to know that we have a start to be able to follow up on this. But if you can give away tax abatement and they report their non-job performance or whatever, and there's no follow-up punishment, discipline, recouping on our end, then I think the report is good and informational, but there's nothing we can do to act on it. So it's like they're getting the tax abatement and they know they're not going to be held to account. So sure, we'll report our false numbers. There's nothing they can do about it anyway. So I would really encourage that we kind of reshape this and have some sort of penalties, consequences, or something to make them be a little more accountable. Because if there's no consequences, then they can just be accountable and say they're being transparent, but there's nothing we can do about it, and we're on the hook giving them the abatement. So, thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Are there any other public comments at this time? Yes, John?
This is in regards to Resolution 283 and 284. It had to do with the presentation you just saw and the people that spoke. This is the money that's being transferred from the block grant dollars to 614 Capitol Northeast. $338,000. And then Resolution 284, it shows that the contractor is going to get just short of $750,000 for one building. Now, there's always people that come up in the past and they've had an addiction or they were alcoholic and they've recovered, and I congratulate them on that, but they put themselves into that position. No one else did. And when they pull themselves up, regardless of what help they get, they did it, no one else. The money used for the block grant dollars could be used for a lot of people that are poor and very low income that need help with their finances and repairing their buildings. This is going to a rehab, one building. It's not going to affect the housing market, and it's going to not solve a lot of the other problems that we have out in our communities. Thank you.
Are there any other public comments at this time? Seeing none, we'll go on with our agenda. Commission comment regarding meeting business.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Been moved and supported to approve the consent agenda. Is there any item that a city commissioner would like removed, questioned, or any further information? Seeing none, would you please vote on the consent agenda? The consent agenda has been approved. Next item on our agenda is Resolution 283. Madam Clerk, when you're ready.
This resolution, if approved, would move federal funds from the minor home repair program to the renovation of 614 Northeast Capitol. This transfer would constitute a substantial amendment to the 2024 and 2025 Annual Action Plan for the Community Development Block Grant Program. The amount to be transferred is $338,369.83. The required public notice was given November 13, 2025, and the required public hearing on this matter was held earlier in the meeting.
I move to approve Resolution 283.
Second.
It's been moved and supported to approve Resolution 283. Are there any comments or questions? Commissioner Lacoste.
I'm just wondering if there's any issue if we potentially postpone this until the first meeting of the year. I don't know, Helen, if you can answer that. If there's any, effects that it would have on this?
Yes, there is, because the next item is to approve the competitively bid construction contract, and I need to we need to have the money available to be
Right.
able to sign that contract.
Is there a way to push both of them back? I mean, I have some potential questions on some of the bidding and issues that I don't think might be resolved during this meeting.
It was competitively bid by purchasing department. We had we had like five competitive bids. We were kind of shocked by the interest. And they ranged, this was the lowest bid. It seems they came and they did a walkthrough of the building. They're going to be able to start the work in January. And they tell us that it's a Cornerstone Construction Group out of Rochester, Michigan. And they've been building restaurants, and that market is slowed, so they're interested in doing residential work. So I've been impressed by the team that came in, and this is a project that's been delayed for a long time.
Right, I understand that. I'm just, I guess some of my questions were relating to the alternates in the bidding process. We had the base bid and then the alternates, which ones were selected and why? Because if you chose certain alternates, then it would pan out in different, businesses' favor. I also had some questions about the monetary value if they don't make the deadline. $200 seems extremely low for me. That doesn't seem like hardly anything compared to how much they're making.
Well, there definitely is a profit, but it's materials and labor involved in renovating a 5-apartment building. There's 5 units in this apartment building at 614 Northeast Capitol.
Right, but is $200 a day enough, incentive for them to complete this on time?
That is purchasing standard language in the contract, so.
I would still like to potentially postpone it if possible. I think I have some questions on other things, if anyone else is comfortable with that. If we could postpone both of them till the first meeting of the year.
Let's refer the question to the city manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would suggest that, I understand that you do have some questions concerning the bidding process and the selection of alternates, but given the need for this project to be completed, I would suggest that the commission go ahead and vote, and I recommend approval of both this ordinance and the next, or resolution and the next.
Okay. Any other questions from the commission? Commissioner Simmons.
Some of the questions that she had were logical kind of questions. So, I'm going to follow the recommendation and approve this, but I'd like to see those questions answered.
We can schedule a walkthrough. Rick Bullock, who's our chief building official, has been working with us on those amendments, there's a boiler there, it's a commercial job, so an architect rules what gets done, and these are alternatives. We've been trying to reduce the work to control the costs. It's been very expensive. Dollars keep increasing, which is why there's a great need for the minor home repair program. We don't have other money to complete this project, and we need to complete it. So the city's made a commitment of opioid settlement dollars, and then moving these dollars, we have to close the minor home repair program until June, because there's no new money. We have the new money coming in July. So, but we, will, all questions can be answered, and we can do a walkthrough for commissioners that want to go walk through the
Just a
building.
follow-up, but I guess my main concern is our track record on this property wasn't very good from the last project and the last.
I agree.
So
I
I
agree.
think we're doing our due diligence, making sure this is done right. this time.
100%. I understand your concern, and
Thanks.
have it myself. Rick Bullock, who's our chief building official, and then Michael Earl in our office, who runs the minor home repair program. They're very experienced in construction. I've been managing the budget, and they've been managing the construction.
Thank you.
Any other questions of Helen at this time? Commissioner Lacoste.
Is there a way to change that $200? I mean, that's my biggest hinging point right there. I mean, I'm all for, moving these funds from one to the other, but, there needs to be some type of greater incentive, I feel like, for them to complete it on time.
City Attorney?
I can't be certain, but given that the bids were solicited under a certain process, that includes basically an example of what the contract would be, that would be offered. It could be very problematic to change individual terms of the contract at this stage. It sounds like that certain commissioners have very legitimate concerns about kind of the purchasing process in general. And, those terms, I think those might be better directed towards, the city manager and the purchasing department rather than through Helen's group there, because they're focused on the specific thing there, but it sounds like you're more concerned with kind of the overall process and the overall structure of how those work.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any other comments by the commission? Are we ready to vote? All those in favor signify, excuse me, let's vote on Resolution 283. Resolution 283 has been approved. Thank you very much. Next item on our agenda is Resolution 284. Madam Clerk, when you're ready.
If approved, this resolution will accept the lowest responsible bid for the rehabilitation of 614 Northeast Capitol from Cornerstone Construction Group. The resolution will also authorize the city manager to execute the contract and any change orders up to 10% in aggregate for city-initiated and pre-approved increases in the scope of work. The city is using federal community development block grant funds and locally controlled opioid settlement funds to rehab this building, which contains 5 apartments, 3 one-bedroom units on the first floor, gutted to the studs, and existing 2 two-bedroom units on the second floor. The rehab includes finishing the basement, including a laundry room, storage, and a conference room. When rehab is complete, the apartment building will provide housing for people in recovery from opioid addiction through a recovery services provider.
Move to approve Resolution 284.
Second.
It's been moved and supported to approve Resolution 284. Are there any comments by the commission? Commissioner Lacoste.
I apologize, I should have asked this
No
previously, but
problem.
on the bidding process, so I saw that, they had their base bids, and I believe it was alternate floor. Several companies had a negative amount on that line, but there was one company, Miller Davis, that had an increase of $134,000. I just wanted to verify that was correct, because it didn't seem to make much sense to me, considering that, from my understanding, Miller Davis has been around since 1909. So it was weird that they varied so much compared to the other companies that were bidding.
We compared them all in a grid, and it is the alternatives. So the architect talked about a forced air, and they actually included air conditioning. Recovery Services Unlimited doesn't usually provide air conditioning in their recovery housing, so we're going to provide everybody with a fan, and we took the air conditioning out, and there's an existing boiler, and it's going to save us money to renovate that boiler. And so that's one of the alternatives. There are alternatives. The alternatives are things that we thought we could save money by changing what the architect specified in the architectural plans.
So on that, if I remember correctly, I believe Cornerstone, I think maybe had minus 4,000, if I remember. But then Miller Davis had an increase of that 134,000.
Yeah. Purchasing, we didn't do interviews. We did a walkthrough. So all of the companies came and did a walkthrough with Rick Bullock, and we went through the whole property. And then there was a whole series of questions and answers that Rick and Christine Huff through the purchasing answered. So there was there was an opportunity for the contractors to ask clarifying questions.
So it
And
was
those-
potentially a misunderstanding on their end that made them,
There was a
Okay.
number of, was that the bid that was, there was one bid that was only for a portion of the project instead of the whole entire project?
this was not that
Okay.
one.
That
This
was one was disqualified.
Yeah, no,
Yep.
this was not that one. But it was the only one that really stood out to me because it had that really large increase for alternate 4, and that made the difference because they were, 40-some thousand below Cornerstone in the base. So that was why I was
So
questioning it.
the final price was all the additions and the alternatives that we decided to go forward with.
Right, okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Any other comments or questions by the commission? Seeing none, are we prepared to vote? All right, please vote on Resolution 284. Resolution 284 has been approved. Next item on our agenda is Resolution 285.
If approved, this resolution will recognize the Battle Creek Area Chamber of Commerce as a nonprofit service organization operating in Battle Creek, Michigan. The Michigan Lottery Bureau's Charitable Gaming Division requires that the local governing body recognize the organization as such to obtain a charitable gaming license.
I move to approve Resolution 285.
Second.
It's been moved and supported to approve Resolution 285. Are there any questions by the commission? Hearing none, would you please vote on Resolution 285? Resolution 285 has been approved. Next item on our agenda is Resolution 286.
If approved, this resolution would express the support of the Battle Creek City Commission for House Bill 4503 and 4504, currently pending in the Michigan Legislature, which will enhance access to Michigan's historic preservation tax credit for residents and property owners located in local historic districts. This resolution will authorize the city clerk to forward a copy of the resolution to the Honorable Governor Gretchen Whitmer, the Honorable Mike Hoadley, Chair of the House Economic Competitiveness Committee, the Honorable State Senator Elbert, the Honorable State Representative Frisbee, and the Michigan Historic Preservation Network for broad distribution.
I move to approve Resolution 286.
Second.
Moved and supported to approve Resolution 286. Are there any comments or questions? Vice Mayor Sophia.
Thank you, Mayor. I will be opposing this resolution tonight. It has nothing at all to do with the merits of House Bills 4503 or 4504. I think that the precedent that this sets by our commission becoming active in legislative debates is the wrong direction for our community to be going. And so I am voting no, and I would encourage my colleagues on the commission to vote no as well.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor. Any other comments or questions? Yes.
I'll concur as well. I asked our attorney to look at some of the resolutions in the past, since 2020, since 2000, and I was surprised that we didn't really take up many positions, and I think that's a good thing. So whatever happens in Lansing, it's great, in terms of as a citizen, but as a deliberative body in the city of Battle Creek, I don't think it's our position to do that for this.
Thank you very much. Any other comments? Hearing none, would you please vote on Resolution 286? Resolution 286 does not pass. Next item on our agenda is general public comment. If you'd like to make general public comment regarding matters over which the City Commission has control, please raise your hand and wait for me to acknowledge you to come forward to the podium. You'll have 3 minutes to make your comment. Please state your name and your address prior to beginning your comment. Gloria?
Hello, my name is Gloria Zakis. I live at 604 West Territorial Road, Battle Creek. I want to make one comment on your first one about the housing. I can help there. And I think that if you go to the contractors, because I had it set up, and you know that, Mr. Binky, where if you give them a tax write-off, they'll work cheaper.
Okay.
Because they pay a lot of taxes, okay? All right? And if they can do something better for the city, I think this would pull them more in and you'd get more help. That's number one. Number two, okay? I live on the corner of Territorial and La Vista. And I have been, for the last 10 years, I've been trying to get a light there, okay? Because I've had 10 people in my front yard, okay? One of them almost hit an 11-year-old girl. A Jeep hit the curb and took the whole front end underneath, the wheels and everything right off, and slid and almost hit her. This has got to stop. I try to help Battle Creek. I did the monument for fallen police officers and firefighters, the movie The Bounty Hunter. That's my car. I sold it to Sony Pictures because I wanted Battle Creek to be recognized, not just for some place that somebody's going to get beat up. I want them to recognize that we all have hearts. I just took 9 soldiers off the street and put them in homes. Thursday, I'm putting 3 more. I work with troubled teens. I give them a job. I pay them $8 an hour. Half their money goes in the bank. The other half of it so that they can buy their school clothes in June. The other half, I don't care what they do with. They get a certificate showing they learned how to do landscaping and painting. I've kept 21 people in their homes this year and got them 6 months free rent. I know that Battle Creek can be better. It used to be if we got mad at each other, we'd just go out back and beat each other up, pick each other up, wipe each other off, and that'd be the end of it. It's not like that no more. It's time for people to step up and say, look, grow up. It's time to do things. And I'd like to help the gentleman that was in here because there's a lot of places that I've talked to you about, Mr. Binky, about all these empty houses here. I had contractors that was going to do them for nothing, okay, for a tax write-off. Instead of tearing them down, you pay 14 grand to tear them down, put the 14 grand in them houses. Do a rehab, do a 90-day program. Get them a job, get them a place to live. I love Battle Creek, and I will stand up.
Thank you, Gloria, for your comments. I appreciate it. Autumn Smith.
Good evening, Mayor. Autumn Smith, Battle Creek. I'm speaking tonight about the ongoing process for selecting the next Deputy Chief of the Battle Creek Police Department. It has become clear to many in our community that this process lacks genuine transparency despite any public announcements or steps taken to suggest an open competition. It's widely understood that Joel Case and Jim Martins have already been predetermined as these selections for critical leadership positions, yet for reasons that escape many of us, this administration and commission seems to believe that the citizens of Battle Creek are unaware or perhaps unwilling to call out this apparent charade designed merely to create an illusion of procedural fairness and official legitimacy. If the city truly values full transparency as it should in matters of public safety leadership, then basic steps must be taken. Post a complete list of all individuals who have applied or expressed interest in the deputy chief roles. Inform the public about the current stages of the selection process, including timelines for interviews, assessments, or decisions. This is exactly the level of openness that we saw during the recent city manager search, where finalists were publicly identified and announced, community meet and greets were held, and progress updates were shared. Why is a similar standard not applied here when these positions directly impact how our police department operates and serves us all? Furthermore, it is striking and frankly concerning how the city appears to be more rigorous in scrutinizing the backgrounds of ordinary citizens who simply want to participate in the Citizens Police Academy than it does for those being promoted to deputy chief from within the department. The academy application requires a full criminal background check for volunteers seeking to learn about policing. Yet internal promotions to high-ranking roles seem to bypass comparable public vetting or disclosure. This inconsistency raises questions about the selection process. It also is, it's shady that this rigorous scrutiny of citizens does not apply to the deputy chiefs, and they just want to learn about policing. Yet internal promotions to high-ranking roles seem to bypass the same public vetting. This inconsistency raises questions about priorities and accountability. We deserve better. Our police leadership should be selected through a process that withstands scrutiny, builds trust, and reflects the community's confidence. I urge the Commission and Police Administration to commit to real transparency moving forward. And for those of you that don't believe me, the past few weeks, you can already tell in person, and he's graced us with his presence today. Jim Martins is here in person, training live and auditioning for the deputy chief position that has already been bestowed upon him. That's why he's been sitting in the role of Shannon Bagley for the past couple weeks at the commission meeting. So you guys can try to deny and say that it's not going to happen, but it's already been done. And I'd also like to know the list of people and how much money we've spent, because it's already been determined.
Thank you for your comments. David?
I don't have too much to say tonight. I wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, the city of Battle Creek, you commissioners, and the city workers. Not getting above too much. I hope to do better next year. We're just starting off in this next couple of weeks. We're starting off a brand new year. And a lot of things has been happening here lately in the news. And so hope we do better, things will be better next year. I wish you again a very Merry Christmas and a very progressing new year. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Mary?
Hi, you guys. I'm here to talk to you about revenue, one of my favorite subjects. Last time I was here, I was talking about how to turn expenses into revenue, and if you weren't here, maybe somebody will fill you in. And it's really easy to stand here and say, please make these expenses revenue. I'm really sick of you guys using our tax dollars. But really, you kind of have to have a little bit more direction, like a marketing plan. So I came up with a really simple one that we could talk about. And what I like to have is to start with a list of properties, like the one I put in the basket and I gave you last week. We just start with a list and make this list available to all of you guys sitting here who don't have a list of your properties. And it's not the complete list. I'm still working on it. It's going to take me a while. I think all your city departments should have it. I think it should be on your website. Yes, I think when you guys go talk out in the community, maybe to churches and community organizations, you can talk about all the properties you own that you're trying to sell. You got a lot. I think you should have the list in the local newspapers. Let everybody know about them and let them try to buy them so you don't have to do any work. It's easy to sell if everybody knows it and you don't have to do much effort. So really giving the list to employees, all your city employees, letting them have this, just share this information is the start. I'm not saying this is a complete marketing plan, it isn't. It's just a no cost, no effort one that will get the ball moving. You sold only a few properties this year. Wouldn't it be wonderful if you started selling more, started letting all the citizens know? So I did go to the library and I made 2 copies and spent a whole $1 on this. 2 copies for you guys. Sorry, if they wouldn't have charged you so much, I would have made more copies. But you guys get free copies. So that's what I have to say. Have a great holiday. Oh, and I'm inviting you to all of our book sales. Starting next year, I'll leave a list in there.
Thank you, Mary.
You want to?
Reese?
Good evening, Reese Atkins, 84 South 23rd Street, NPC 10. I am coming to you because the streets over on 22nd, 23rd, and 24 are horrible. We got all this snow, and the city came through one time and plowed it, didn't put no salt down. It is solid ice. We need to look into getting trucks back out there and doing a little better job at cleaning these secondary streets off and getting it to where they're not all icy, to where all people are doing is spinning tires and spinning their cars around and around and not going anywhere because these roads are icy. If they are going, they're going so bumpy, it feels like you're on a roller coaster. I mean, these primary streets are beautiful, but these secondary streets stink. They are hard to get up and down, and they're hard to do. We need to get these city trucks out there putting salt down and scraping these secondary streets a lot better than we are, because right now people are not barely getting off these secondary streets, and it's going to cause accidents. Thank you.
Reese, are those north or south, 22nd, 23rd?
South.
South. Thank you. Are there any other comments at this time? Kathy?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Greetings. Kathy Antea, Park Ridge Drive, Battle Creek. So I attended a really fun senior dance. I know, us old folks breaking down. It was really hilarious. And I include myself in one of those. And the reason I bring that up, for two reasons actually, is one, the people that organized it made the Share Center a beneficiary of socks and hand warmers. And we brought 5 garbage bags full of those to the Share Center. So I'm really pleased. Thank you very much. The Cool Center and the Battle Creek Community Foundation, I do believe, received some grant dollars or some funding from the senior millage to put on this event. It was a lot of fun. They really did a nice job. Why am I mentioning this? Just because I had fun? Because I had a conversation with a couple old folks there with me, and we talked about meetings that we had last year where we brainstormed all these fun things that senior citizens could do for fun that were legal. And so we were asking what happened to that. There were at least 2 meetings last year that we seniors sat down and told them about fun things that we want to do. And I thought Senior Millage was going to be promoting that stuff, and so far we've had a dance. And that was good, but I'm just hoping that someone might look into that and what happened to the Senior Millage and all the promises of all the good times that we were going to have, first of all. The second thing is, while I think that the city actually does a pretty good job with snow removal, and I understand that that may be questionable in some places, I would like to point out that a huge number of people, and by huge I mean probably 150 people per day, pedestrians cross Dickman Road at McCamley Street, and they're heading to or from the Share Center. And those 4 pedestrian corners are really horrible right now. I actually watched 2 people in wheelchairs try and get through there, and they had to go in the street on that. And that is a nip and tuck. So I just wanted to point that out. We need to have shovels, plows, bobcats, or something where the pedestrians actually cross at the intersection of Dickman and McCamley. And then finally, I would like to offer a happy solstice to every single one of you folks. December 21st is our solstice holiday this year, and I bring that up because when we hit that point, then day length starts to increase, woohoo! So actually winter's almost over, woo-wee! I'm really excited. And I am very disappointed that my tax dollars did not include me and my friends who don't celebrate holidays other than solstice and some Hanukkah, that our public display only acknowledges one single religious holiday. I'm a little disappointed in that. Nonetheless, happy solstice to all y'all. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your comments. Is there any other public comments at this time? John?
John Kennefic, 234 South Avenue. I haven't been to these meetings for a little while, but it heard something disturbing in the not-too-distant past about this commission under the consideration that you have 4-year terms instead of just 2. Now, Mr. Binky, I've known you for more than 20 years. I also know you've never met a cost increase you didn't want to vote for, along with the rest of the commission. I've always been hoping over the last 20 years that the voters and citizens of Battle Creek would wake up and figure out who exactly are you voting for. If they think for one moment that they represent the citizens or taxpayers of Battle Creek, they haven't looked at your resolutions. You've waited years to take out a loan to fix the fire stations, which you could have put a capital improvement plan in place more than 20 years ago, stopping the loan from ever happening so that the citizens don't have to not only pay the $25 million, but all the interest on top of it. The interesting thing about listening to you all this time is I'd like you all to be removed. There's a test I did for the 2 new commissioners, and that was to see if you'd vote. They would vote when the time came up for the tax bond schedule that you do every year. 100 cost increases were approved during that resolution. That meant the new commissioners were exactly like the people they replaced, just like you. Now, I'm going to walk away in a moment, and we're probably going to hear from Sherry Sophia giving a little cutesy thing for the holidays. Just ask yourself, how many loans has she approved as a commissioner, and all the costs that it has to do with the citizens paying that back, and all the excessive costs that you've inflicted on the citizens of Battle Creek, and then listen to how her cute little Christmas.
All right, John.
Thank you very much.
Please make your comments to me and not criticize
No,
me.
I'm just using this as an example.
Have a good night. Thank you
Have
for
a
your
good evening.
comments.
Merry Christmas.
Are there any other public comments? Hearing no further public comments, commission comments. Do we have any commission comments? Commissioner Patrick O'Donnell.
Thank you, Mayor. I had the privilege yesterday to attend an event at Kellogg Community College where we got some more policemen to come join the force of Battle Creek. And one of them I've known for a long time, and who I believe he'll do a very good job with us, Daniel Yates. I'm impressed with that young man. I've known him for 15 years, and he's one of those that just wants to give right back to the community, and he's taken a lot out of his life to do this, and I really want to thank him for his service to Battle Creek and coming up in the future. Also, earlier today, got to see the new recruits for the fire department and the promotions, and I was very impressed with all that. The city's doing good. We're getting promotions and people that want to actually do community service and help the city out. Like I always say, I'm glad we have a fire department, but I don't ever want to call them, but I'm glad that they're there for us. They're here to support us every day, and same with the police department. I want to say Merry Christmas to this great town of Battle Creek, Happy New Year, and I hope that the winter solstice is very bright also. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. Appreciate it. Vice Mayor Sophia?
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much.
'Twas just before Christmas, and all through the city, the lights were a twinkle. It looked really pretty. Folks out and about with a howdy and hi, spreading good cheer as the year fluttered by. And so we paused to reflect on 2025 in retrospect. Finding someone to take over the city to manage, but here we had a secret advantage. For almost a year, with Ted Deering in charge, we stayed the course with progress, some small and some large. Months in the making, and for some a real boon. You can now go places via Ride Calhoun. If you choose to peruse the spaces of cyber, opportunities will abound with the expansion of fiber. Improvements and enhancements in the outdoors we did mark, when renovations were completed at Claude Evans Park. Our budget for the year contains some news that was great. It was adopted with a reduced millage rate. Amanda Zimmerlin came to Battle Creek in the fall. As our new city manager, she has answered the call. And for dining options, we can no longer grouse. We have our very own Olive Garden and Texas Roadhouse. So many achievements, it's hard to pick one. The work of the city is never quite done. As 2026 approaches, more projects await. With hope and ambition, the future looks great. This message is heartfelt, simple, and clear. Wishing you all happy holidays and a prosperous new year.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor. I really appreciate that. Are there any other comments by the commission? Seeing none, we're going to adjourn our meeting, and we wish everyone a happy holiday.